are headed to the poker house in Dallas, Texas off Regal Rd. Hopefully we can run into Wolfgang Poker, chat it up, and maybe get him on the vlog. First hand of the vlog here at the poker house, and we have ace queen offsuit in the hijack. Limps 4 ways to me, and I raise it up to $15. Get calls from the under the gun and under the gun 1. Going 3 ways to the flop. The flop comes out jack 3-3 rainbow. Pretty dry board, even though it is paired. Nothing too exciting going on here. So when it checks around to me, I decide to check here, get to the turn cheaply, see if we can improve, and improve we do. The turn comes the ace of hearts. There is a flush draw on the board now. However, my opponents once again check to me, and this time I lead out for $20. Under the gun is my only caller. Heads up to the river now. The river is an 8. She checks to me, and I'm putting her on some type of weak pair, such as a jack or maybe a weak ace. So I throw out a bet of $20. I figure this is an amount that will entice her enough to call and not fold. And sure enough, she says out loud, "I'm calling out of curiosity," and throws out 4 red chips. I show my hand and we're good. We scoop this pot. She ends up flashing me ace 6 of diamonds, so she did have an ace with the weak kicker. So good read on our part. Alrighty, on to the next hand. Next hand up, we have pocket 9s in middle position. This is definitely a playable hand, especially if it limps all the way to me, and sure enough it does. That's why I raise it up to $15. I get calls from small blind and under the gun 1. So we are in position going 3 ways to a flop. But before we move forward, I do want to say that under the gun 1 is a very, very aggressive opponent. I've seen him put his opponents in very tough positions with his bet sizing, and he's also a bit of a chatterbox. He likes to let it be known he's going to get inside your head. So I keep this in the back of my mind as we move forward. Moving on, the flop comes out 8-6-3 rainbow. It's a pretty good board for our hand. We do have an overpair. It checks to me again, and I decide to take the aggressive approach and lead for $25. Small blind folds, and under the gun 1 is in the tank. Again, as I mentioned earlier, he is an aggressive opponent, and he's not believing me. He looks at me and asks me if I'm just c-betting here. Goes back and forth, gathers the chips out. Looks like he wants to put the chips in the middle, and then decides on a fold. So I'm glad we were able to take this pot down. I have a feeling later on, if I didn't make this particular play, he would be trying to bluff us out of our hand. Glad this turned out in our favor. All right, next hand up. Next hand up, we have pocket 6s on the button. Folds to middle position, who leads out for $10. Hijack calls. I call, looking for my opportunity to set mine here. Big blind makes the call, and we're going 4 ways to the flop. The flop comes out 10-8-7, 2 clubs. Not too bad of a board for our hand, as we do have the low end of the straight gut shot, improving with a 9. Big blind decides to lead out for $15. Middle position calls. Hijack folds, and I decide on a call. I'm getting priced in here, and there are a lot of turn cards that can improve us. The turn comes the king of hearts, not a card that improves us. However, it checks around to us. Looks like everyone's afraid of this card. I decide to check and take my free river card. River gives us the 9 of hearts, improves us to a straight. We do have a low end straight though. We were feeling pretty good about our hand until big blind leads for $25. Hijack quickly makes the call, and I look at both of the opponents and I look at the board and I realize, you know what? One of these opponents could possibly have a jack. So we're not going to give them any of our money. We're going to let them battle it out. So we fold, and sure enough, both of the opponents show a jack. So good fold on our part. On to the next one. Pretty straightforward here. We have ace jack of hearts in the under the gun 1 position. I raise it to $15, and middle position is my only caller. Little side note I have mentioned here in my notes about middle position, that he has the biggest stack on the table, a little close to $2,000. and I'm really looking forward to take some of those chips from him. Heads up to the flop, and the flop comes out Jack 10-5 with 2 spades. So we have top. Do have to worry about that flush draw, hence why I lead for $20. Middle position tanks and folds. So a little disappointing there. I guess he was thinking in his head, not today, man, not today. Alrighty, on to the next one. We get back from our break and capturing some B-roll for the vlog, and we have queen 9 of diamonds on the small blind. Looks like we have to buy the button because we missed our blind. I throw in $3, gets to middle position, who makes the call. Everyone else folds, and I check my option. So we're going heads up to the flop, and the flop comes out good and bad for our hand. Queen 9-7, all clubs. We have top 2 pair, however, this is a very draw-heavy board. I decide to check to my opponent, see what he does, and he throws a bet out of $5. I have a no-brainer call here. Turn is the 10 of spades. This is a pretty bad card. There are a lot of straight draws on the flop that just got there with this card. So I check to my opponent again. He leads out for $15, and I tank for a bit. This is actually not too big of a bet, and who knows, maybe we can boat up on the river. I make the call. The river comes the 10 of hearts. Pretty bad card as now the board is paired. So we pretty much go into a check fold mode here. I check it down to him, and he checks right away and shows king 9. So he has a lower 2 pair, and we scoop this pot. Pretty interesting run out for this hand. Kind of boring, right? But I just wanted to show this hand. Not all the hands are going to be exciting and scoop massive pots and, all ins here and there. Sometimes it's going to be straightforward hands like this. Alrighty, on to the next one. The theme of this vlog is all about transparency, and transparency is what this particular hand is all about. We have 9-7 of hearts on the button, a couple of limps to me, and I bump it up to $12. Small blind, who happens to be the new guy who just joined the table, makes the call, and hijack calls. With the suited 1-gapper in position, feeling pretty good about my hand. The flop comes out extremely well for us, 10-6 jack with 2 hearts. We have the draw to the flush, and also a gut shot straight draw. When it checks to me, I see bet for $15, and small blind is the only caller. Turn is the king of diamonds. This is actually a great card for us. It's now we improve to a double gutter with an 8 or a queen improving us to the straight, and we still have the draw to the flush. When he checks to me, I decide to play this a little deceptively and check back. And I do this because it seems like this card is scaring our opponent as he doesn't feel too confident about it. I want to give him the opportunity to bluff on the river so that we can take advantage of it, as long as we improve, of course. So the river comes to 4 of hearts, and he takes the bait. He leads for $30, but for some reason, and I'm still disgusted with this decision, I just make the call. Was I not paying attention? Was I focused on something else? I don't know. And he shows ace queen for the straight. Such a bad decision on my part. I mean, we show our flush and we take the hand down, of course, but man, what a dumb mistake I made there. So not too happy with that. Obviously, I'm pretty disgusted myself about that play. Try not to beat me too much on the comments, guys. This next hand is actually the final hand of the vlog, and I do save the best for last. I've been taking a lot of time studying, reviewing the footage, taking notes. I want to share this hand with you guys. I hit the record button a little late on this hand, sorry about that. And we have king 10 offsuit in the cutoff. I've mentioned before in previous vlogs that I really don't like playing with this hand. However, in this particular case, when under the gun leads out for $6 and hijack makes the call, it's a no-brainer for me. I go ahead and call as well. Button calls, and so does the small blind. So we're going 5 ways to this flop. And the flop comes out king, queen 3 with 2 spades. So this board does hit our hand. We do have a mediocre kicker. Under the gun leads for $6 again. I make the call, and so does the button. We are now 3 ways to the turn. The turn brings another 3. Interesting card as the board is paired now. And to make things even more interesting, my opponent, she leads out for $15. This is an interesting sizing, really small. I'm starting to narrow my opponent's range down to like a king X type hand. Maybe she's trying to get value from us, who knows. But I really don't put her on any combinations of hands that contain a 3 as well. I decided to go with the call, that way button can come along, and hopefully we can improve on the river. The river does improve us with another king. We boat up, so if she had any type of king X type hand, we're now chopping the pot. So when she leads out for $50 this time, this confirms to me in my mind that she has a king. I make the call, which looking back, I feel like this is a bad decision on my part. mainly because I wanted the button to come along. I mean, he's been following along this entire time. It makes sense to me to simply just make the call, and hopefully button will come along or even raise, and then we can go from there. Well, after I make the call, he folds. And interestingly enough, under the gun, she doesn't want to show her hand. She actually starts to turn red, almost like she's embarrassed. And I eventually show my hand, and she is not happy. She is pissed, as a matter of fact. And she eventually shows pocket queens. I actually scooped this pot. I actually start to get a little disgusted myself because I could have had her entire stack. She would have easily called anything, I think, in my opinion. She had top set and she ended up boating up on the turn. She chose an interesting line of bet sizings throughout this entire hand. So we scooped this pot. However, I feel like I missed out on some value. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about this entire hand and how it went down. This ends the vlog, but let's hear from our special guest, Mr. Wolfgang Poker. All right, what up, poker fam?
What's up, guys?
You should already know this guy right here. This is Wolfgang Poker. If you don't know, shame on you if you don't know.
Dang, I look like a shrimp next year. Look at this. Like 5'2". I'm 6 foot.
He's 6 foot. All right, 6'3", 6 foot. That's what's up. That's good. That's good. But he came all the way out here. He's been doing a little road trip. Came all the way out here to Dallas, Texas.
Yes, sir.
And I had to make the effort to come and hang out with this guy over here. So
Reward this guy by liking this video and sharing it with a friend. Help him get to 1K subs. What are you at now? Like 500 or something?
yeah, close to 500. I'm trying to get to 2K at the end of the year. It's a little bit of a
You
stretch,
can do it.
but I think I can do it,
You can
man.
do it.
I appreciate
Help him
that.
out, man.
Yeah, help me out, man. Help me out. Appreciate it. Finished the session out here at the Poker House Club in Dallas, Texas, off Regal Rd. And man, what a great session, and what a great opportunity it was to meet the one, the only Wolfgang Poker. Super cool guy, super humble guy, and really cool to play with. I didn't get involved in any hands with him. That's unfortunate. That would have been really cool to get that on the vlog, but nonetheless, I was able to get a little snippet with him and just hang out and chill with him, talk with him. So that was pretty exciting. Definitely made my night. I bought in the game for $300 and cashed out for $491, profit of $191. So not too bad in the span of, I would say, in the span of 2.5 hours. Not too bad of a session, not too bad of a profit. So if you like what you've seen here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment down below, hit the notification bell so you're informed of all upcoming vlogs and anything else I may announce. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in.